kind of like
welcome to manhood.
Yeah, it's kind of like Sprite without the lemon lime.
Yeah, I mean it's
Club
spicy
soda.
water, bro.
Spicy water.
Spicy water.
That is
That's
true.
crazy.
It's pretty good.
So are we going me, Marquis, you?
Let's do it.
How are we gonna do it?
All right, bet. So welcome back to the Creatives POV podcast. I'm Noah.
I'm Marquis.
I'm Ethan.
And today we have a very special guest. We got the boy Anthony Arroyo in the building. Thank you for being
Stash
with us.
Gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anthony is a super talented photographer, and we're stoked to have him on today. And so we're just going to let him go off and just tell us a little bit about himself, where he's from, and what he does.
All right. I'm Anthony. Who am I? I'm a son of a Mexican immigrant and a rural Iowan. I'm a big brother. I'm a friend to a lot of different people in Des Moines. I'm an East Sider, have been for almost my whole life.
East Side?
Been a Des Moines resident my whole life. I'm here on this podcast, so I'm a photographer. Been doing photography as a professional for getting closer to 6 years. And outside of that, I'm a runner. I'd still consider myself an athlete at this point. I travel as much as possible. I think traveling is so important to like get a worldview other than just being in this bubble of Des Moines and a bunch of other things. So yeah, that's me.
Dang.
It's dope.
Nice.
It's dope.
Cool. So photography is a big umbrella. So what kinds of photography do you do? Like, do you do weddings, editorial, product, fashion? Like, what is your niche?
So I want to niche down. Like, that's my goal. Like, I just went through like a whole thing. Right now, we're getting into the niching down. But right now, I'd say I do everything. And I want to keep doing everything. I do weddings, do portraits, grad sessions, real estate photos, like everything. But I want to strictly start branding myself as strictly commercial, doing lifestyle stuff, branding, travel, those kind of things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which one do you like prefer the most if you had to pick one?
I would say I'm a big basketball fan. I love the NBA. So obviously like right now it's like a good time for me.
Yeah.
I would love to work somehow in the NBA, like not even just shooting games, but like, you know, the photographers who like are taking the fit pics.
Yeah.
The tunnel fits?
League
stuff
fits.
Like that.
Like that stuff, like that would be cool. Getting to work, because you know some of the players have like their own brands. Like doing that kind of stuff would just be like really sick.
Yeah.
Who's your team? Since we're talking about NBA.
I'm a Lakers fan.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I'm not a Bron fan. I'm not a
Okay.
Bron fan. I'm a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
I love that LeBron's on our team,
Yeah.
but I'm not like all these other Laker fans. Like they just showed up like
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah. So you've been with them in the hard times too
Oh,
recently.
bro, it was bad.
I'm a Kobe fan, so that's why I'm a Lakers fan.
Kobe, yes.
But other than
Rest in
that,
peace.
yeah,
For
rest in
real.
peace, Kobe.
It's crazy. Like even before they didn't have before they had LeBron, they had talent. Like D'Lo, Lonzo, Julius Randle,
bro.
Brandon Ingram,
We were nice.
Kuzma,
Yeah.
Just we were young.
Clarkson,
We
and then
are-
everyone just
Went all over the league.
Phased out.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be good because now look at them. So
I know.
What got you into photography?
Okay, so my senior year of high school, I decided to not play basketball because we were not good. And I just wasn't having fun. And I was already on my high school newspaper. So at the time I was like, hey, my high school advisor, shout out to Natalie Niemeyer. Like she put me on this path to like what I do now. I was like, hey, let me just like make videos about whatever. And she was like, cool, as long as you're doing something, like go crazy. So from like the last 6 months of my senior year, I just made a bunch of different like video packages, put them out. I was our social media editor as well. And by the end of the year, the Iowa High School Publication Association, I was awarded Videographer of the Year, 2 Video Stories of the Year, and Social Media Editor of the Year. And I was like, oh, this is, like, I like this. I'm just doing this for whatever. And it led into me doing an internship at Iowa Public TV that summer before college. And I would never do public television. That was just a whole different thing. But I was like, okay, this is like cool. And then I was supposed to go play football at Grandview, actually. I did fall camp. It went really well. Like, I was doing pretty well, and like not to like hype up like what I used to be as an athlete. Like they had me running with the varsity as a freshman. Like I was an offensive lineman. Like that ain't easy. Like we talking about some big bodies.
Yeah, that's not easy at all.
So now I was like doing well, but I was just like, this is not like I had to cut out all the creativity because it was just like you wake up at 6, you go work out, you have a meeting, you go eat lunch, you go do conditioning, you go to another meeting, then you go to practice, you have dinner, have another meeting. And I was like, 4 years of this, I don't love it like that. So I left 2 days before the fall semester started. I went to DMAC, signed up for classes, and I just kept going. And I finally bought like a real camera.
What was your first camera?
A Canon 80D. Shout out to Casey Neistat. Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you shoot with now?
A Canon R6.
Right on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right
What
on.
made you choose the R6 out of all the whole R series?
If I had the money, I would have bought a R5,
Okay.
but I was being conscious because like I want to buy better glass.
Yeah.
I know the glass is going to get me more for my money than
100%.
another body.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I couldn't imagine. I don't even know what like the file sizes of the R5 are like. I just know it's going to be way more than what I have right now with the R6, which is like anywhere from like 20 to 35 megabytes. Like I'm sure it's like double with the R5. I have no idea what it is, but
Yeah, they get pretty big.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I know they're
like
like 50, 60, maybe even more.
on like headshots or something like that, I'll also like, so I shoot with the R5C. I shot some headshots a couple weeks ago, and in Lightroom, I'll do the enhancement as well. So I'll like do a dual pixel enhancement. Those things were 90 megapixels, and like 10 photos were over a gig.
That's wild.
I'm like,
That's insane.
yeah, for only 10 stills. It's wild.
It's crazy how big those files get when you shoot the R5 and R5C. I haven't got a chance. I actually shot the R5C for the first time today.
Yeah, today. Yeah.
At church. So it was.
Yeah,
I
those
like
files are wild.
Yeah.
Do you shoot film too?
Oh yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
Okay. Tell us about that a little bit. Like, what do you use for film cameras?
So let me just like start how I got into film. So like in 2020 pandemic, I actually right as it was happening, I was in San Diego. The world like shut down. It was crazy. Like I'm just there with like my ex, and we're like, dang, we're just inside now. Beaches were closed, parks were closed. You couldn't do anything.
Were you there like on vacation?
Like we were there for a spring break.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
we're gonna go to
yeah.
we're gonna go to New York, but we were like, it seems crazy over there. Let's go to the other side of the country. Like, nah, it was still crazy.
Yeah.
So it shut down, and I was like, dang, all we're doing is like walking outside, and like we don't really understand like how big this is. So I was on Facebook Marketplace and bought a Minolta like XG1, and we just walked around San Diego and like went to like random places that were open because they were like, I don't know, government places. Like we went to a cemetery. Like it was actually super cool. It was like up on top of a mountain overlooking the city. Like we would have never
That's
gone
dope,
there
yeah.
if that wasn't happening. So yeah, that's how I got into film. So like 35 mil. I was shooting a bunch of Polaroids, especially during like protesting in 2020. Then I got into medium format. So right now I shoot with a Mamiya 645 for like a bunch. Like that's almost the only thing I shoot right now. Like I don't usually shoot with 35. So yeah, that's what I'm shooting with now.
Explain the difference between like medium format and like 35 and stuff like that.
Simply like 35 millimeters, it's just a smaller negative. Medium format is just a bigger negative. So more resolution, more detail.
Because I took a film class in high school at Central Campus. I think the teacher was Miss Wicker. Did you take that class?
No, dude.
No, dang. Yeah, I remember it was a struggle bus for me trying to learn how to do all that, but it was cool though. Like I wish that I did more film stuff, and I want to buy a camera. So I've been meaning to hit up Christian Photo.
Oh, dude.
Got to, man. Shout out Christian
Photo.
Shout out Christian
Yeah.
Photo. I was just there.
Shout out
Yeah.
Chris for my guys.
So like, explain like some like film projects that you've done.
Oh, okay. So the two that are almost realized. One is realized and finished and been gallery, photo book, and everything. I did a project called A Home I Never Knew. So I went to Mexico for the first time in like 20 years to go to my aunt's wedding. So I hadn't like met any of my dad's family in so long. Like my grandma has come up. She has like a visa. She can come whenever. But I go finally, and the whole time I'm just like taking photos, 35 mil. And I'm just doing it because I love photography and I'm just documenting my trip. A year goes by. I tear my Achilles and I'm like, let me work on something because I'm bored.
Yeah.
I revisit all those photos and I'm like, dang, like these are really hitting me. Like I need to do something with these. So I start like, I get them all rescanned, which cost me way too much money. And then I was like, all right, like the sequencing works with this photo. How did this turn out? Like, this is way too lucky to be on film. Like this tracking shot I got and like the scenes and the nature and the beauty. And I was like, wow. And I was just like thinking about how my family like made me feel like it's called A Home I Never Knew. Like they made me feel like I belonged. Like I don't speak Spanish. I'm Mexican-American. I'm a No Sabo kid. But they made me feel like I was supposed to be there. Yeah.
Dang.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, projects like those just make what we do that much more meaningful.
Absolutely.
There's no dollar amount that you can put on the feeling that you get from making content or capturing a feeling like that is timeless, and it'll last the test of time. And every time you look at that, but also the generations that are going to look at that, is priceless.
And I think I'll keep revisiting like this dynamic of being like Mexican American because I had a lot of other like people who are biracial, like Asian American or whatever, be like, yo, like I feel like this. Like I feel so disconnected from like my one side of my family. And like the way you like brought this up and documented it and like talked about it, like this is really hitting for me. And I'm like, see, like I know that there's like a dialogue that needs to like happen for us here. So I think it'll be something that I continue to like every time I go back, like I want to like document more. Like me and my dad just went back for Day of the Dead back in October. And I just documented this man because my dad is like like, what do you want to call it? The stereotype. My man works all the time. The man just like, that's that man's life. Does construction. That's all I've known about him. Going there, like this man relax. Like he's in the pool. He's eating. He's not working. So like to document him, like kind of like childlike, it's just something that's rare for me. So maybe those will come out later. I mean, I've shared a few, but
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
It's nice to see him.
Is
like
your
that.
book out there for people to like buy?
Oh yeah, it's on my website.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your website?
It's just my name, AnthonyWArroyo.com.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, you were showing me your website at Northern Vessel one time, and you had some really dope projects on there. So, like, what are some other projects you've been doing?
So the next one I want to like publish as a book, do a gallery. It's a state-funded project actually from Iowa, and it's called Taquerias en la University. So if you go on University Avenue on the east side of Des Moines, you will, if you pay attention, you will see taco truck after taco truck after taco truck. And those people have been out there. People just, I feel like they're just not recognized enough for all the work they do. Like they create another third space for us to like go eat, hang out, and just be. Like, you guys know what third spaces are?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna just explain real quick.
Yeah,
In case
yeah.
the audience doesn't get it. So like you have your first place, which is usually like your home. Your second place was work. But third places are like special. Like that's where community is created.
Yeah.
So we're talking about cafes, libraries, parks. But like taco trucks, I think are just a special place because like you can go out there, eat. It's really just like random corners and like places that would usually just be empty unless these taco trucks took up those spaces. And like a thing I wanted to focus on with that project is like during the pandemic, a lot of these people didn't have any help through the government. Like some of these people are undocumented and they just had to continue working because they had no choice. There was no like, oh, we're going to wrap it up for like a month. No, they're out there still serving the community and letting us eat. So they were the only people out there like feeding us other than the grocery stores during that time.
Dang.
So like, nah, those people, like I want to give them their shine, like for real. So when that book comes out eventually, like I'll do a huge whatever when that comes.
What
That'd
are
be
some
rad.
taco trucks that like you would recommend then?
Better Cruz, Allen's Tacos, like just go to the east side. honestly.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
so many.
Yeah,
On
like
university
if
right
you
now.
know, you
Like,
know,
literally,
you know.
Grandview.
Yeah.
Just try one every week. You
Yeah.
can find a new one, I promise you.
It's crazy.
That's
It
sick.
is a lot down there. Cause I went to
Yeah.
Grandview.
Yeah.
That's right. So,
And there's quite a bit right
yeah,
there, bro.
right there. It's a lot. And there's
I live
always-
like 3 minutes from Drake for a year, so like, you know, driving down, be like, I need some tacos tonight. Just drive until I see one. Can't go wrong.
You really can't.
You can't go
no.
wrong.
cash only. And
Cash
Yeah,
only.
yeah. That was the struggle too. Is like I would never have cash and be like, do I have to go to an ATM? I gotta go to.
Go to the gas
I need
station,
some
cash back.
tacos. Yeah.
And then I know that you've done some stuff recently with like Ken Supply Co.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You've been doing like some fun passion project stuff too, like portraits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
How's
think
that?
I'm just trying to create more of a portfolio of stuff I want to be doing. So that's just what that stuff is, and obviously collab like Ken Supply Co. My guy Malik, we went to high school together. So just supporting another person that I've known for honestly my whole life. I think we also went to elementary and middle school together. So yeah, that's what that stuff's all about. Yeah.
That's dope. And you went to Drake, right?
I went to DMAC and Drake.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you major in?
At DMAC, I just did my liberal arts, and then at Drake, I did digital media production.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, how was college for you? Like, how did that impact your creative journey?
I would say DMAC. Oh, dude, like DMAC, I love DMAC. If anyone's in Des Moines, like go to DMAC. If you don't have a full ride to like any of the state schools or the private schools, go to DMAC. I want to shout out my guy David Purdy, who runs the photography program.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Like that's an
Yeah.
OG for real.
Yep.
Outside of the one class I took with him, like I don't think I've learned anything in like the 3 or 4 photography classes I've taken, but I took like his lighting class, so I learned strobes.
Yeah.
Oh man, like that put me on a different path, like learning
Yeah.
strobes and like off-camera flash. So like shout out him. I would say that had a big impact. Also doing the DMAC newspaper with Alan. I can't remember his last name, starts with the L, but shout out Alan. He just let me do whatever. Like I was the photo editor. He was just like, go make stuff look cool. And we ended up turning our newspaper more into a magazine just because of the photos I was taking. And I was like, I'm rocking with you, bro. Like I love it. So I would say it was like a beautiful like space to like let me grow and like figure out photography. And then by the time I left DMAC, people were like, oh, he's pretty good at what he does already. So after DMAC, I was contemplating like, do I continue? Do I go? And then I talked to Chris Snyder, who's a professor at Drake. And I've known him way back since East. And he was just like, if you come to Drake, like if you don't come to Drake, it's cool. Like you're very good at what you do. You'll be great locally and that'll be fine. But if you like want to leave Iowa and like have those connects and like have those opportunities, come to Drake. And I was like, I want to do that. So I went to Drake, and the first semester was cool. Like I did Drake Mag. I was a part of a couple organizations. I was doing a bunch of work, and also to go back a few months before I even got to Drake, I became the commercial photographer for Ray Gun. So that was like a big thing. And shout out to Ray Gun. Like they just let me like be creative in my work and do what I could. And I also was working with the marketing department for Drake before I even took a class. So I was already doing stuff for them too. So I was just really working as much as possible and getting as much portfolio stuff in. So I get to Drake, do the first semester. Things were cool. I'm like, I'm figuring out like this kind of school because it's different than DMAC. Second semester comes and then COVID happens. So I can't really give Drake an honest like review because I only had 1 regular semester and then 3 semesters of COVID. So sadly, my Drake experience is kind of ruined. Like I've never really had a relays. Like, they be having the tent at Peggy's. Like I've never done that, like none of that. Like I was gonna do that this week, but I was just like, nah, I'm too tired. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I ran my half marathon for Drake relays and I was like, all right. I did that. So yeah, that's my education.
Okay.
So right after, so you graduate college. So did you go straight into being a freelancer, or did you work for an agency? Did you just get like a regular 9 to 5, or how did that work out for you?
So what happened was I continued with Ray Gun for a little bit.
Okay.
But they were like, we're going to cut your hours. And I was like, all right, cool. Let me like really try the freelance thing. And it was working out. Like, I was like, oh, I can like do this for real. Cause like I've never had like another job other than photography since I've got to college. So I was like, let me like full time do this and see what I can really do. And it was like really working out. So I had all this momentum, things were working. And then October of 2021 came and my Achilles just popped.
Just walking?
No, I was playing basketball.
Oh, okay.
But it was super normal though. Okay. Like I basically was like walking, like I just started to run and it was like, yeah, and I just went to the ground. So like killed all the momentum I had, I'm not gonna lie. So I had like 2 months, no walking. And then December of 21, that's when I started rehab. And I was like, you know what? Like, this is that time. So to like give context, like at that time, or my whole life, I've just been a bigger guy. But I was like, you know what? This is the time. Like, it's time to like get that, how do you want to say it? Just like do that thing. So I was like, all right, let's get mad fit and healthy and like change all these habits. So like, as soon as December came, like I was at physical therapy and went to the gym. So I was doing 2 days for like at least 3 months. Eating habits, completely different. Like I barely even drank soda at this point, but like, don't get me wrong, everything is okay in moderation. Yeah. Ice cream, chocolate, bro. AE chocolate milk, that's my thing. Like, bro, that's my thing. I'm sorry.
Yes, yeah.
But no, I just got like super serious like about my health, and like I just lifted for the first 6 months. So I just doing PT and lifted, and then May of 2022 came around, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run a little bit. Like, let's just add running. And then Nico, you guys have had him on the podcast. Nico was like, hey, I see you're running. You should train for a marathon with me in October. And I was like, oh, dude, you're crazy. Like, just tore my Achilles, and I'm still like 250. Which I was like, at 250, I was like, oh, that's sick. Like, I haven't been 250 in like, since I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah, because at the time, my biggest was like 315. And I feel like I carried it well. But like, that was big. And like, that's definitely a reason like I tore my Achilles. But now I started running, and I just haven't stopped. Like, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. So yeah, that's all that.
I be seeing the post on Instagram.
Yeah.
We got 80 miles in this month.
The miles.
Dude,
yeah.
whoa.
Oh no,
Man.
that was light.
That was light.
That was light.
I've done 140 in a month.
Jeez, man.
So you just did a half marathon.
A race,
This
yeah.
past weekend, right?
Yeah, last Sunday.
Is that 13 miles?
Yeah, 13.1. I did it. It was like an hour, 37 minutes. So 7:28 pace. Yeah.
That's low key moving.
Oh,
That
bro.
is
Average.
big time movements. Ooh. Sub 8 minute miles for 13 straight.
Oh, dude, it was crazy. I didn't think
Dang,
I'd go
man.
that fast.
I'm
but
good for a 12-minute mile.
You said that was what? That was like a
That's cool, that's
6 minute personal record? Is that what you said? Or on your story, or
so-
what was that?
I did a half marathon race for St. Patty's. So before St. Patty's, I think my personal record, my PR was like an hour 51 minutes.
Okay.
So within 2 months, we have got it down. What is that? Like almost 20 minutes. So 18 minutes, gotten that down.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's impressive, man.
Oh no, it's crazy. Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Bro, I went to middle school with you, and you
Yeah.
were like 2 years older than me. And so, yeah, it's crazy. Like, we were in school during like the rise of social media. So, like, I've been following you for a minute, bro, and just seeing your journey is just crazy and inspiring,
It's
honestly.
crazy.
Like, I was talking to Neek, too. I was like, dang, y'all make me want to run.
Come run.
Yeah.
Run club.
I got to buy some shoes for it.
right.
Yeah, same.
515 Run Club. That's a thing.
Is it really?
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm gonna start it. It's like May something. I've not even shared that yet.
Dang.
We'll come
Do we
back
need to
that.
cut that?
No, I'll come back to that then. I'll
Okay.
like self-promote that.
Yeah, for sure.
So so since Drake, what year did you graduate?
2021.
21.
Summer.
Okay, so you're 2 years post grad. What's like looking back? Like, what are you grateful for? Like learning wise, and like also what's kind of your norm now? Like, are you still freelancing full time, or
Oh yeah, so
walk us through those 2 years after Drake?
okay. I freelanced, tore my Achilles, and after that, me and Ray Gunn like parted ways. We're
Okay.
like, yeah, we're both not really benefiting. So that 2022 early, I was like, all right, let me just focus on health a little bit. And then I was like, let me do the gallery for a home I never knew. And that was kind of like my opening to the season of like, the busy season of photography. Things were rolling. And then I got a job offer from a company locally. They're like, I would call them a production company. They did strictly just video at that point, but they're like, oh, if we had a photographer, we could be like full content. And I was like, oh, you guys seem intriguing. Like, this would be good experience. So I was like, yeah, like, let's do that. I was there from April to the end of September. And I was just, that's a whole thing. We won't need to talk about that.
Can I ask what company it was? Or
I don't even want to share that, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even want to like deal with them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I did learn some good things. Got to experience some bad things, and like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I had to go through a NDA and a non-compete for 6 months from October of last year until this March.
Wow.
Exactly. So that's why I was quiet for like a minute. But then that whole time I was just preparing like the business. Like I'm really gonna be a business this time around, like not just freelance. So not like the whole idea was like be ready as a business, get all the systems in place, and then get the studio, and then really just like make a run at it.
So what you just said was like basically you can't do your own freelance stuff when you're in that.
Yeah, that non-compete.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was just really on the low key about things.
What kind of clients did that company like specialize in working with?
I would say all kinds. They nonprofits, bigger businesses. Not gonna lie, like we traveled. Like we went to like Florida a couple times, Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like more commercial work for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How hard was it for 6 months to be like, I can't put my work out? I've never personally been hit with an NDA. I've had one threatened against me, but like there are good ways to handle something like that and bad ways. Like good ways, like brands like, hey, we're going to release this product to you. You have to sign this NDA. You can shoot this product, and then in 6 months you can release the content, but for 6 months you cannot.
Yeah.
This does not sound like that. So how hard was that process for you?
Man, I almost just like went to Mexico the whole time. Like when I went to Mexico with my dad, I almost just stayed because I was like, you know what? I get to like hang out with my family and like do that. But I didn't. I was like, I need to come back because I know I won't do any work down there.
True.
So I came back and like was just, I don't even know how to say it. It's like, just imagine me in like a basement, like gym. Like that's what I was doing. Like, I was just running, lifting, and then like on my laptop. Like that was literally what I did this winter.
So for 6 months, did you work a part-time job or?
Not luckily. Thankfully, like I have an immigrant dad and a mom who like financially made some sense to me, and I like have other mentors.
Cool.
I had savings, so
Good.
I was straight. I did not want to like do a part-time job. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
That's fair. Yeah.
No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
So then, recently you kind of just went full-time self-employed. And so like, how's that been going for you?
Honestly, really good. I'm learning a lot as I go. That's another thing. Like I was just tired of like preparing. I was like, let's just do it. Like I'll learn things as we go. We're going to make mistakes, but like, let's just do it. So no, things have been cool. People have been supportive. I think I didn't realize how big of a network I had to like go utilize. And that's been nice.
Yeah.
So a lot of like opportunities have been coming that I didn't even think would come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like growing up in the Des Moines area, you know, all these people that you grow up with, you'll have those connections, and like, you know, even like the fact that you almost went and played for Grandview, which Marquis played football at Grandview.
Yeah.
And then like Borg did, and like all these things, and it's like the city is so intertwined, and you know, the connections are so strong. It's crazy.
I know. Yeah, I'm grateful for the East Side for sure.
Who are some people that like you like inspire you, you know, from the city, and then like people that just inspire you in general? Yeah.
I would definitely have to say like Tobias, man, for sure. Like I saw him as the older, like he was like ahead, and I was like, oh, like what he's doing, like I can mess with that. And also Colton Burdell, like he was making videos in high school, and I was like, I should make videos too, but like I wasn't doing the same stuff he was doing. But I was like, if he's doing it, I can do it. So just like seeing other people doing it, and I was like, I like doing it. So let me just go do it. Because like I feel like the whole like it was always expected to like go to college regardless. So like I always figured, I remember always being like, oh, I'll just do like a business major or something or whatever. So nah, it was definitely unexpected to like go this route so quickly and kind of just fully commit. And I like definitely I'm grateful for like seeing them and them doing that stuff. So yeah, when I was younger, definitely them. And outside of Des Moines, I would say, gosh, I think when I was making videos at first in high school, like I didn't know anything about who Casey Neistat was until I left high school. And then I was like, oh my God, this guy Casey Neistat is like crazy. And this is like the end of the vlog, I think. So like him, I was like, dang, that's really cool. Photography wise though, gosh, I think it's weird that I don't have any like inspiration from like older people, but like I always think about the YouTubers. So like there's Volandis, who's been around.
Yeah.
Willem Verbeek. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly.
Verbeek? I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Willem. He's in like LA now. Linus in his camera. He's in LA now. Who else do I love? Oh, Joe Greer. He's a runner too now. Yeah.
Yeah, these are all like
these are like the film bros.
Yeah,
these are like all film guys. Yeah. So like watching them on the internet, I'm like, and they do like, I wouldn't even say like commercial work. Well, maybe Joe does now because he's doing like JW Marriott's. But they do like editorial and like documentary type stuff and portraiture. So like I'm really like a fan of them. Yeah. And they're all really cool. And I think we have our own little thing like that here in Des Moines.
They're just good on YouTube. Storytellers.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something I love about photography is like, you know, you get to capture that moment and and it tells a story too. It's super cool.
So I think those guys, and it's cool because they're all like our age or just a little older. Like they're right there. Yeah.
How would you describe like your personal style when it comes to photography and like what is, because like, you know, we all kind of have our own like spin on photography. What's your approach like?
Oh, my approach. I definitely, my style, I would say is a contrasty, it's bright. I would say it's like lifelike. I want to add more texture to it. Like that's what I really appreciate about like Tobias's photography and like Nico. And there's this texture and I'm like, that texture is so nice. Like I want that too. But for my professional work, the stuff I do for money, like I think a lot of that is just like clean.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I would say my stuff is. And like when I approach a shoot, now that I'm in a business and I'm like, I'm trying to like, hey, this is the value I'm adding, like mood boarding. And like, that's how I'm approaching it. I'm like, this lighting, this is what we're looking for. Like the shoot I did with this girl named Allie, like there's just some of these photos I haven't put out, like they're just like red. And like, there was this look I was going for. And I haven't edited them fully. That's why I haven't put anything out. But those green ones I think I put out of her. Oh no, I put some pink ones out.
Yep.
And like those, it's like a spotlight effect. So like we did like 4 different like looks, and I had them all like laid out, and we shot in like 45 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of stuff in that 45 minutes, but like that's how like my approach is right now. It's like we create like a look like that we're looking for. I practice it before to be like we're not wasting time during the shoot, so we can be efficient.
Yeah.
And then we go do it.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm not gonna lie, like that's something that I can struggle with too, is like the preparation, you know. Sometimes like I'll have a shoot and like I might do a little bit of like Pinterest, you know, like find some inspo, stuff like that. But then like you know, just mood boarding it, making your shot list too, like and just having all those details like already ready to go really does help you, you know, execute. Because there's nothing worse than when you do a shoot and at the end of the shoot you have that feeling inside, you're like, damn, did I really just like not?
I hope I got something.
Yeah, like that's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
Have you ever like had that experience?
It's been a few years, I would say, since I've had that feeling. Like I always feel like I'm like, I got like 10 great ones.
Yeah.
The rest are like, oh, those are nice.
Yeah.
And then like I'm at that point, I'm like, oh, that's enough. Like I don't need any more.
Explain that to me now. Like when you have a client, what's the expectation with how many photos they're gonna get back?
Oh, I always put that out in front. Like you're gonna get, I think for 30 minutes, I always say like 5 to 10, an hour, like 15 to 20, and then 2 hours, whatever that is.
Yeah.
At the same time though, I say that, but I always low key over deliver.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I want you to like appreciate that I said I'd only give you this, but I'm giving you this.
Yeah.
At some point, I mean, with some of the clients I work with that are like more commercial, like we'll be like, this is how many deliverables we need. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like it's going to cost you this much. Because I'm thinking, I have like a whole budget sheet. So I'm like, my editing time, shoot time, my preparation time, like all that's like budgeted out. So like that's a lot more detailed. But like with portraits, grad sessions, family, like that stuff, I'm always just like, let me tell you a number I know I'll get for sure. If I over deliver, I over deliver for you. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good business technique for sure. Because that's kind of what I do in my real estate business. So I'll tell people, hey, you're gonna get 25 to 35 photos, and I'll drop 50 on them, and they're a new client, and they'll be like, oh dang, I'm rocking with you.
I've seen that, and I even like kind of use that mentality for just like for really anything. Like if you set the bar low and celebrate the small wins, you're going to have less disappointment. You know, if you have an expectation set and you know that you can supersede that expectation, you're never going to feel like you're failing or disappointing. For a client, though, I think there's a fine line between that, because a lot of times when you exceed that expectation, the exceptional work that you put out becomes the new expectation. I've had that happen with some clients where like, oh, well, you said this and you gave us this, so why aren't you giving us this now? It's like, well, because my word is this, and like, yes, I stuck to my word that I gave you at least this amount, but like that does not mean that you are entitled to anything other than what I say.
Yeah,
you know, because sometimes people be like, hey, like I'm expecting you to over deliver now. There's that fine line there, but like honestly, as creatives, if we can provide people with more value than what we're saying we're going to give them, we should be like giving people like that sense of gratitude that they know that what they expect from us is going to be top quality.
100%.
Yeah. But also, I love what you said, like a business thing.
Yeah.
I heard this one thing. I have like this notes, like I don't even want to call it. This notes that like it's called things I like that I heard, and one of them is you only need like 2 out of 3 things to be like successful. You either need to be the best at what you do, be really not like easy to work with, like people like working with you, or you're super affordable. Just 2 of those 3 things. That's all you need.
I feel like I've heard that.
Yeah.
And very, very seldom do all 3 align. Because if you're the best at what you do, you should not be always affordable.
You should not always be affordable.
100%.
If you're easy to work with, you might not always be the best at what you do. I mean, like realistically, if you align on all 3, I don't know if you would be the best at what you do. Not gonna lie, if you're super easy to work with and everybody can afford you, like you shouldn't be everyone's flavor. Like you should not be everyone's taste.
Definitely not.
You know, some people got like we said on the last podcast, like if you're just fishing for X amount of logos, X amount of photos, go on Fiverr. You know, like
clients are. Yeah, you don't want to be everybody, like you said, flavor, because not every client is for you. And not every client you want to work with it too. Because I have some clients that I'm just like, you know what? I should fire you.
Dude, that's the hardest thing too, is whenever you have a dollar amount attached to your like expectation of income for the month and be like, man, I can't handle this stress anymore. I can't handle your attitude anymore. Whatever it is, it's like, man, like I got to drop that.
I think,
charge them more.
Charge more,
charge more. 'Cause I think it was starting to happen like in the creative world. Like we have like these Fiverr, we have like some of these clients that they'll run the AI and say, yeah, I can do it myself, and then everything becomes like fast food. Like they want these fast turnarounds.
That's a crazy analogy right there.
Yeah.
Food.
I mean, if you want your content fast, or you want your content half done, like you might go to McDonald's and get some half done fries. I mean, you can go to some of these other creatives and go to Fiverr. And nothing against Fiverr. Like
no, it's just like you have to have in your mind the expectation that you're approaching with whatever you're wanting from people, from a creative, from a business. You have an expectation of what you're getting from fast food. You have an expectation of what you're getting from 801 Grand.
Yeah.
They're not the same.
Not the same.
Kind of just going off of this whole like pricing conversation and like all that stuff. How do you like price your clients? Like, do you have packages? How does it work?
Like weddings, yeah. Portraits, yeah. But like when it comes to like a commercial client or a nonprofit or whatever, like obviously they're gonna have different budgets. They're gonna have different needs. So I don't think there's ever a package or packages you could line up for them.
Yeah.
So that's like I said, I have like a budgeting sheet, whatever. I'm gonna budget. You tell me what your budget is, and we're just gonna cut out things like on my ends. Like you ain't even gotta know all about all that, but like you say you want 200 photos for X amount of dollars, but I'm like, that's a lot. Like let's cut it to like 80 photos for your budget, and like that's really probably enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like those things, and like go watch YouTube videos and like learn about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Who are some like some YouTubers that you would recommend for that kind of stuff?
One I love, what's her name? Lizzie. It's Chris.
Lizzie
House.
Pierce.
Yes,
Pierce.
Lizzie Pierce is great. Yeah.
She's phenomenal.
Those educational videos about pricing and money and like client communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really fire.
She is fire.
And a dope creative too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Even what Chris does with his channel, like I mean, he's got some really good insight, and I think that's what a lot of people like miss the mark is like, like I should be shooting so much, and then like delivering, and then it's like there's got to be this imbalance, or there's this balance set of like what I'm delivering and how much I'm attaching to that. You got to establish that.
I agree.
So I kind of want to hear about like how do you go about marketing yourself and promoting yourself? Because now you have your own brand associated with your name, and like obviously social media. You mentioned a website. How has that like affected your business, and has that helped you gain clients? Has that helped you?
Yeah, I think definitely always have a website. Yeah, even if it's like not the best, I think it's great to like have a home away from social media, because like social media could like take you away from their site or platform, and then you just don't have anything. But no, I think for myself right now, like I'm gonna go through like a rebrand and like, how do I want to say this? Kind of like change the, like I said, I want to be into these certain types of things of shooting here soon. So like that'll happen here this year, and it'll slowly happen. Like it's not gonna happen drastically. So like the website's gonna look completely different, and my Instagram feed will probably look completely different. Not sure if I'll like focus anything on like TikTok, because like that's just funny, and like Twitter is just, I love Twitter, but not for like getting clients.
Yeah.
I should probably focus on Facebook more, but like
Facebook's hard for me to get into.
Same.
It just feels kind of ancient now.
just don't go on there unless it's like Facebook Marketplace, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like I just go shop on there.
Yeah. And there's just a lot to Facebook too. Like Instagram is way more like user friendly and
Seems so
simple to me.
Yeah.
And Facebook's just complicated.
I feel like I got to dig into things. I don't want to like learn.
Especially like I started a Facebook. So 2 years ago, I rebranded all my content, and I started a Facebook page. But there's such a weird like difference between having a Facebook page and a Facebook account. It's really strange. Like there are like just different features and different things. Like the analytics are different across the board. It's just like, it's just hard to manage.
Yeah, it's definitely tough.
It's important whenever you can do it well, though.
Yeah.
I will say that.
I just went and got a Facebook. I mean, I got a social media manager.
Oh, you did?
Hired one.
Oh, gosh.
I just dropped all the content in the folder,
And they just go crazy.
and they just go crazy with it,
that's so
and they make
nice.
sure it gets posted.
Dang.
They send me analytics every month. It's actually pretty nice and very affordable. So if you ever want to look into it, I'll drop that on you. But,
Yeah.
but
I might
yeah,
have to look into
it's-
that.
especially once you hit a certain point where like you're so much into your business and so much into your client work that like social media becomes like a third priority.
Yeah.
At that point. So, but you never want to. That's how you get clients.
I know.
It's not a marketing tactic. So,
Yeah.
With being your own business, like marketing yourself as a business, how hard is it for you to separate yourself from your business as a creative?
Like that's the thing. Like do want to just separate my name and just like make it something different. Like that'll be something I talk about with who I'm working with on rebranding. But I don't know. At the same time, it's like it's kind of like easier that way. And then like people are just like, oh, that's Anthony, like the photographer who also runs and like it's from the east side of Des Moines. And it's pretty easy that way. And he's also like Mexican American. Like you just like it just like funnels into it. And like that's what my photography is too. Like it kind of like blends into like who I am as a person. So that's why I kind of like it. But at the same time, I do want to like make that separation. Like I'm getting older. Like I'm 24. So like I do want to kind of like separate those avenues.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a hard time like when it comes to social media. Like there might be some just fun life stuff that I've experienced, and I'm like, I want to post that. But then like the really like creative and like perfectionist side of my brain's like, no, that's gonna look bad because you're just posting a bunch of your creative stuff right now, and that's just gonna be so random and weird. And so like I struggle with it sometimes.
I do have 4 Instagram pages, so
You do?
Dang.
dude, yeah, I have my personal, my photography,
Okay.
this archive page that used to just be my Polaroids, but now it's just like random things about whatever I just feel like putting out into the world.
Yeah.
And then I have like the Run Club page that used to be, if you remember this deep cut, Iowa Ports. Iowa Ports.
No way, dude.
I changed that.
Ports. Bro, that was you?
That was me. Oh my God. You
Hold up, bro. That is how I first found out about any of you.
I ran.
Ports.
Oh my. Let me talk about Iowa Ports.
No, dude. My mind is blown right now.
Sorry. So
I
like,
might have known about that, but
So like
wow.
at DMAC, I was like, there's so many cool people that like we're not getting enough shine and like there's too much disconnect. Let me just like post every cool photographer like I can find. So I was posting like 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Like going crazy.
Bro, I remember
I
this.
made like 3 publications, like 3 magazines by myself. Like, I was tired. Like when I got to Drake, I was like, this is the last magazine I'm doing because I'm tired. Like this is a lot.
Yeah.
Like I wish it would have went farther. And like the page kind of like got big and like people really cared.
It
And
did.
it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Like, it
tagging
was-
you in all my photos.
Same,
really?
bro. Yeah. And I wasn't even from Iowa, bro.
I actually posted a picture, and I wonder if I can find it. It was either a picture of you I taken, or it was somebody.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I think it
So
was.
you're telling me I made y'all connect?
Yes.
Oh, that's
That is crazy, bro. My mind is
so
actually
cool.
blown right now.
That's actually that's the whole point of the page and community. That's so
crazy,
cool.
bro.
Holy crap.
We're because
Iowa Ports.
y'all were in the. I know y'all used to get like tagged and tag Iowa Ports and stuff, but were y'all in the Instagram group chat Iowa Creatives or Iowa Photogs?
I wasn't.
No, because Caleb Stenzel, Nina, and her
Jason. Yeah.
they were in it. Some other people from like Ames.
I might have been.
I think
don't
you
know.
were because I
probably
remember,
was.
yeah,
Dang.
because that's how I found like a bunch, and I didn't even live around here at
Dude,
the
that's
time.
so
I lived
cool.
in Illinois still. That's wild, dude.
Do you still have all the photos up on Iowa Ports?
They are all archived. Everything is archived. I don't like deleting anything, so I archive that entire page. But if you go on the Run Club page and go to tagged, there is thousands of photos tagged of random portraits.
what?
And you're like, why does this Run Club have so many tagged portraits? And it's because of that.
That's crazy.
That is wild, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I wonder if mine is still on there because like I went through a phase where I deleted everything on my Instagram. Wow. And then started over. So
Yeah. I mean, I've done that on like all the accounts.
it's crazy.
Oh shoot, I was gonna ask you something about it. So did people like email you and submit the pictures they wanted, or did they just tag you and then you kind of screenshotted it and cropped it?
So for resharing on the Instagram page, they would just tag me or use the hashtag that I would have out, and I would just repost. And then for the magazines, I had like a whole Google like sheet and like submission thing. I don't even remember how I did it, but it worked perfectly. Yeah, that's how I did that.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's so
Okay, so what made you start Iowa Ports?
Oh, dude, I just was like, I want to know more photographers, and there's a lot of cool people, and I'm sure I don't know all of them. So let me just literally post all the time, like 5
That's
times
so
a day,
wild,
put
dude.
so many on the story.
Yeah.
You know what? It's gotten to a pretty big point. Let's make a magazine. Let's get people excited about a magazine.
Yeah, man.
I made 3 of them. I love the second and third one. Those looked really good. The first one was not It didn't look good. But the second and third one looked good. I was like, yeah, I'm actually proud of those.
That's crazy.
And I have them all still. Like, they're at my apartment. Like, yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
That's crazy.
You know, I kind of have had this thought, like, it'd be cool for all of our guests that we have on to submit some of their work. And, like, when we post our guests' photos, you know, their episodes dropping tomorrow, we could also, you know, maybe put out some of their work on our page. So that way we're kind of, like, sharing their work to people too. That way it's like whoever's following our page, if they need a photographer and they see like your work, they're like, oh, that's who I want, you know? I've thought about that. That's something we could talk about.
dope.
Like
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. So, in the perfect world, what is your ideal client?
Oh. It would be, I don't know about an exact client, but something that makes me travel. Super just hands off. Like, we trust you and your creative abilities. Go do your thing.
No micromanagers.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I do love collaboration, but micromanaging, like, don't do that.
There's a difference.
Collaboration, I love that. You see something I don't, oh, tell me. And then, like, I get to see your perspective because, like, we all have different eyes.
Yep.
And yeah, that's really it. I'm pretty chill. Okay, yeah.
What are you currently working on now? Passion projects, client work.
Finishing the taco truck
Cool.
project. Gosh, what do I have in the gallery right now? Senior photos,
Yeah.
grad sessions.
It's almost May.
Just done a bunch of events for Drake. Hopefully working with some small businesses here soon. Have some meetings lined up. Some more nonprofits. Yeah.
Dope. Dope.
Where do you see yourself in like 2 years, 5 years, and then like where would you want to be in like 10 years?
That's hard. I usually only think like things in 2 years. So that's really interesting. So like in 2 years, I personally want to like finally leave Des Moines. Like I want to take that jump like I do. I almost did back in February. I had a couple job offers in Chicago. But I was like, I won't want to be there in 6 months. Like these jobs aren't what I want.
Yeah.
So I held off on that. But no, I definitely see myself like really having my years away from Des Moines. Like I didn't have the college experience where I go live somewhere else. Like I was at the crib, went to DMAC, went to Drake. I was in my backyard the whole time, which is still really cool because I got to grow up and like see business stuff and like see my other people do things and all that. But like, I definitely want to just go and just like live somewhere else, like find a new community.
Where's like your like ideal place that you want to land?
Ideally, because like I love the East Side. I love Des Moines, but like Chicago is like first because I have family there. I already know a bunch of people there, so it's like it just makes sense.
Yeah.
When we talk about 5-10 year plan or like where do I see myself, like man, I hope I can just have my studio. Doesn't have to be glamorous, but just bigger than what I have now. I would love people being like flying from wherever to like come shoot with me because it's like, oh, we got to go shoot with Anthony.
Yeah.
I would love to spend my winters in Mexico and like really ingrain myself, really learn Spanish, like really get to know my family. Like I want that for the winters. And like I follow photographers who are down there who do great stuff. And I'm just like, gosh, let me just
What's the scene like down there for photography?
It's beautiful. The architecture is beautiful. The flowers, the food, the mercados, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Colorful, vibrant. They do like I'll show you some photographers now.
Yeah,
like,
send me some pages.
Like they are really good. Yeah.
Dude, that's sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope. Okay. Do you ever like think about like maybe having a team of people underneath you, like having some second shooters or like, you know, because you shoot a lot in studio settings. You know, you could theoretically have a team, you know, have like lighting team, have a whole production team.
Yeah.
Basically, your experience you had working for a production team, would you ever consider having your own team and like from your experiences, knowing how you would want to run it, you know?
So I think when the time comes, I don't know if it will come or if it does come, but like, obviously I love being a photographer, but I think at some time I'm going to be like, I want to do something different. And like, I've seen like being like doing art direction or like some type of directing type stuff. Like I practiced it a little bit. Like I just shot a video. Like I didn't shoot the video. I just like was like, we should do this. And like, you shoot like this. Let's use this like millimeter, like that. Hey person, like modeling or like whoever our actor, like I want you to do this, that. Okay, let's do it again, but change that. Like I want to do like that kind of stuff, I think, in the future. But I think we're years from that.
Yeah.
And like more practice and like getting some like experience around people who have been doing it, who are the best at what they do. Like I want to go do that.
Yep.
So I think later on, like that might be a thing. I don't know. Would I love to have a team? One of my mentors tells me like, Anthony, like you're fit, like you are the perfect fit to like be that leader and like build other people up. Like you get that. Like you have the humility to like know when you're wrong and admit it and like take that, but you're also like graceful and like you're telling people like, hey, like this is like, but like you could try this and like this and let's see. And like, okay, cool. We did this better. Let's take notes of what could have been better than what we just did. Yeah. So I think, eventually maybe have a team. Like I said, I'm young.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just trying to like make this work first.
Yeah.
So I'm not even trying to get too far ahead of myself. Like just want to make this work, get really good at this, and it'll be on to the next thing. Yeah.
Cool.
I know, like, we never know how much time we have on this earth, and like, we never know what life is going to throw at us, like in the grand scheme of things. But what would you say is like your immediate goal for where you're at, and what is something that you hope to accomplish before you're done on this earth?
Ooh, dang.
Because like I get in this weird, like, I don't do the January 1 write down what I want to do in the next 364 days. I do like, what can I like feasibly accomplish right now? Am I gonna motivate myself to do that? And what's gonna stretch me? The stretching part is like, because if if I want to lose 40 pounds, great, you do that. But like, also, is that gonna stretch you, or is that like, oh, I can do that, right? That like, what's gonna stretch you? So like, what are you doing right now, goal oriented, and what do you hope to accomplish someday?
So I think right now, I think it's just focusing on like the present business and like being like, you know what, this month we did this much in like sales, and I profited this much. Let's do better next month. And I think within that, it's like, obviously we're cold emailing, we're getting back to like returning clients, we're being better at client communication. And like, those are things that are not even like creative. Like we're talking about business things. So like, it's just getting better at that, getting the repetition and like being the best I can be at those things. Like I'm not trying to be the best, better than everybody. I just want to be the best I can at that. And when we get to a point where it's like, all right, cool, like this is good, then we'll move on to like the next thing. Long term, I think we just kind of talked about it. Like that will stretch me.
Yeah.
Like being a leader for like younger creatives and like showing them like, hey, here's all the mistakes I've ever had. The first photography job I ever had, I got fired in like 6 months. Yeah. Like I didn't know what I was doing. Like I was 18, turning 19. Oh, dude, it was bad. I didn't know what I was doing. I think I got fired because I didn't bring an SD card to a shoot. And they're like, yeah, this ain't gonna work out. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Let me learn some more. But like, I was super even grateful to even have that job. And it was super low, like risk for them anyway. Like they didn't care. But no, I think I could be a really good mentor for plenty of people in different spaces.
Are you mentoring anyone right now?
Oh yeah, bro. Shout out to Sam Yu, if you guys know who Sam is. They're out in Iowa City. They do photography, poetry, all this stuff. Like,
Dope.
Hey, you need some extra SD cards? Here's a bunch I don't even like use anymore because they're like 64, 32 gigabytes. Like I only shoot like 128. Hey, you haven't shot a wedding yet? Come second shoot with me, and I'll pay you the rate that I get paid for second shooting. Like I want you to know what your value is.
Yeah.
Like, so Sam loves Sam, and I mean, I feel like the last 6 months I kind of just took a break from everybody. So like I haven't been in touch, but like Sam just performed like poetry for, I think they call it Poetry Palooza earlier this month. And I literally just caught them like in their performance, like two people performed before them. They performed, and I was like, perfect. I caught it. They had like an intermission. I said, "What's up?" I was like, "I'm very proud of you," and then bounced because I was like, "I'm busy, but I care about you. I want to show like, hey, I'm invested in like your creative like career." So I think that's important too. Like Tobias
That goes a long way.
I feel like Tobias did that somewhat for me. Where Tobias was like, he was like, "Dude, you can do this," and I'm like, all right, bet. Like, we're going to do this. Yeah. Like, that was me when I was 18, 19. And I was like, all right, cool. Let me do that for other people.
For sure.
Yeah. I think the best way to put it, and my mentor, who's been my mentor since middle school, like, being a servant leader is, like, that will be, like, the most fulfilling thing for me in life. Like, never, like, having a successful photography business, like, all that. Like, all that's cool. But, like, the true goal with, like, my business and, like, photography is, like, serve other people in all different kinds of ways. Yeah.
Dang.
That's
good.
fire.
Yeah,
This is written out in my notebook. Like, I've had this written down for months. Like, I've been
We've
thinking
talked
about
about
these
that
things.
too before.
Yeah.
Like, just how, like, the greatest calling we have is to be a servant, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
And at East High School, what is this service of humanity? Like, this has just been in my ear, like, since childhood. Yeah.
Dang.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we wrap every episode with the question, what has inspired you recently? And we go around the table. So what has inspired you recently?
Oh, I'm going first?
You don't have to go first.
I feel like
but-
the guest always goes last. I've watched.
He's been watching.
Yeah.
I'm invested in
I'm
this.
invested. Hey, we
I
appreciate that, bro.
I went
This
first
is
last
invested.
time, so I respectfully ask that. I go second to last.
I will go then. So I'm really inspired this week that I know Ethan and Noah have been on me about passion projects. Cause I get into this habit, like honestly, the past year and a half, like I just been strictly business, clients, and really haven't like sat down and did any passion projects. So we actually got one coming up. I'm not gonna put too much information out there, but all three of us will be working on a project together, and it's really a passion project. We're not getting paid for it that I know of, but we all three love the team we're going to be working with and doing this work for.
Yeah.
And we're all already invested in it. So I'm super excited. That's what really inspired me, because I think they called us a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and like I just can't stop thinking about this shoot. So that's what inspired me this week.
I'll go next. Mine's not creatively, but what inspired me is seeing all the graduates lately, like finish what they start out committing to do. Like Marquis and I were the college dropouts at the table.
Shout out Kanye.
I mean, like, I have a small sense of like pride in like knowing that like I'm kind of, like self-made, like I stuck my nose to the grindstone for a long time, not knowing if it was going to pay off or not. And it ended up paying off. Yeah. A lot of people do that in college, like going through the classes, not knowing like, oh, on the other side, I'll have a piece of paper. I don't know if I'll have a job or not, but like all that stuff. But it is still inspiring to know that like people out there like are investing in a higher education. And I think that's so important, not just from a collegiate standpoint, but just if you're not investing in your higher education, I think you need to be. I don't think you can put a dollar amount on that, but like there is in a sense a dollar amount attached to like stretching yourself, be like, is this worth putting my money towards? And having like putting that money towards you. So went to college graduation at Simpson College yesterday. There were a ton of graduates for a private college. I was shocked. Like, I know Simpson's not like a small school, but like
Pretty small.
Yeah, it's pretty small. I think there was like 160 graduates or something like that. Like quite a few.
Yeah.
Like for a private college, it's still pretty big. But a good buddy of mine, he graduated, super proud of him. So yeah, I think just seeing all these people that are now ready to take on like the next stage in life. So I think that's dope.
It's ironic that you start talking about that too, because like I just did Julio's grad photos.
Yeah.
Julio was on the podcast like not too long ago. founder of Bowie Club.
Yep.
And so we took photos, and then it started raining. So we went back to his crib, and we were just like sitting down talking. And we talked from like 1 until like 4 o'clock. Just literally like the couch conversation, like, you know, just
Love
talking about like, are you excited to graduate? Are you nervous? Like, you know, what's the move now? And he was talking about everything from like, you know, his parents want him to get like a job, but then he really wants to pursue his dream of like building this brand. And so we were talking about all the things, and like I was asking him like, was school worth it, you know, for you? Like, do you feel like you really got what you went to school for? Like, did you get the knowledge that you wanted to learn? And he said yes. And so, I mean, I think that ties directly into what you were talking about, just like how school is a big investment financially, but you can't really, like, there's stuff that you can't learn, you know, digitally via YouTube or whatever, you know, as compared to like a classroom where you can raise your hand and ask like a professor, hey, I got a question, and then they can just like answer it for you. And that's something I loved about DMAC too, was it wasn't like a university like type of classroom where it's so big that you can't talk to the professor. Like at DMAC, I remember, I think I had 30 kids in my class, and like if you needed help, they will come directly over to you and help you with whatever question you got. And so, yeah, shout out to DMAC. I'm a graduate of DMAC. And yeah, honestly, the conversation with Julio really inspired me yesterday, just like talking about, you know, the future for him, and just like, I'm a graphic designer. So like I have like, my mind is wired to think very strategically, and like through the means of like communication, you know, and visuals. And so like I was trying to offer him insight into like, you know, things that he could maybe do to take it up, you know, Bowie Club up. And it was just really dope talking to him. Another thing that inspired me was Isaac Rodriguez, who we also had on here, the homie. He played keys for Barack, which is like a worship group. And they're like the elevation for like the Latino community. So like they're huge, you know, in like that like genre. So like seeing him up on stage, like in front of all those people, was crazy too. And man, also UBT.
Yeah, Friday night.
Yeah, like that was dope, because a lot of those guys, man, just like growing up in Des Moines, you know, just like you know these people, or you know someone that knows them, and then seeing them do an event, you know, and just like all the familiar faces in that crowd, and it just kind of made me think about like growing up, you know, and it made me reminisce on like high school and like all that, and like I love that time of my life too. And so like shout out to UBT. I love seeing those guys like do their thing, and I want to get them on the podcast too. So
Absolutely.
They're great.
yeah, man.
Man, shout out to the DMAC Bears.
DMAC Bears.
Yep.
No, I do want to touch on that real quick, because I think people have asked me, like, was Drake worth it? Because, like, I was contemplating even going. And I will say, like, definitely the networking part. Yeah, because I even had a mentor be like, look, you're here to, like, network and get to know people. Like, the school stuff, like, just pass. Like, I had a professor tell me this. Like, shout out to Doug. But, man, yeah, he made so much sense, because he was like, it's not about that. Like, you're not even, like, taking photography classes. So, like, just know everybody, get good at, like, communication and, like, understand all that. So I was like, all right, cool. So, yeah, definitely think Drake was worth it, too. What has inspired me? I'll do this because of the Run Club. What I think, or even in everything in life, but, like, me tearing my Achilles has been, like, a super pivotal, like, thing that's happened to me. Obviously, I feel like it's just, like, I've like relearned discipline in like a way that I've never had before, because like, I didn't run in high school. I was a big guy. Like, I'm lifting, pushing weight, like all that. Now it's just like, man, I ran 80 miles this month. Like that sounds crazy, honestly. The fact that like I can be like, I actually enjoy going for a 10-mile run because like it's nice to be alone in your own thoughts and like doing something that you're like, dang, this is gonna be tough, but like it'll feel so good after. It'll be so good for you.
Yeah.
So I think that has like gone into like business and photography because it's like, dang, I don't want to sit down and email 30 people today. I don't want to sit down and make 5 invoices, do however many estimates. Like, I don't want to do all that. But like, let's just sit down and do those stuff. Like, I don't want to sit down for 4 hours and edit today. But like, we're going to do that. And I think that me turning my Achilles was just like, I made a choice and was like, we're going to set some goals and we're going to go do them. And like, I surpassed all the goals I even had at first when it came to that. So I think I get to see this scar every day. I'll let y'all see it. It's massive. And like, now we're going to do a run club, 515 Run Club. You can look it up on Instagram. We're going to start running in early May. Yeah, I just think it's so cool to have other people be like, dang, Anthony's running a lot. I'm going to start running too. And then people be like, I just did my first run. Shout out to Anthony. Like, that's so great. Like, I never started running to be like, yo, Noah, go run.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, that's wild.
You got me ready to run through a brick wall right now.
I'm ready to put my miles in my books, bro.
Let's go.
So
That's cool.
kind of not glad I tore my Achilles, but glad of all the action I took after.
Everything's got a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dang. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Did you go?
Yeah, he went first.
I went first.
You
bro.
went first. Yeah, I won second. For some reason, I thought I was one first. Dude, it's
That's
been a day,
crazy.
bro.
Well, Anthony, thank you for being on
Thanks
the
for being
podcast.
on, man.
That was
Yes, sir.
amazing. We had some eye-opening things that said, like the eye reports. Like
Glad
none
to
of us,
introduce y'all.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
none of us knew you ran eye reports. That's crazy.
No, I don't think a lot of people do.
It was like I never knew this
Funny.
whole time.
So funny. I went to look it up and obviously couldn't find it.
Yeah.
But I went through my messages and I accidentally just reactivated a dead photography group. And I think a bunch of people are pissed now. Yeah, people are like, why is this group even a thing? I was like, I think I reactivated it on accident.
That's wild.
No,
I was like, my bad, guys.
sorry.
Dang. Maybe one day we'll think about eye reports again.
Yeah.
But
That's crazy.
That'll be-
You should, we should get, is the magazine like just physical or is it digital as well?
It's digital too. It's out
We
there.
should, we should put it on the page or something.
It's on Blurb.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's we should definitely do that. But yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah, thanks for being on, man.
Of course.
Thank
yeah.
you guys for tuning in again, and this wraps up another episode of the Creative Studio.